Hey there, Blaise here, and today I actually want to talk to you about zero-sum games. I think I've already done this before, briefly, in my old videos, but I just want to talk to you because I got this shirt along with another one and a figurine in the mail because I backed this game, which, yeah. It's pretty cool. I backed Planetary Annihilation. I believed in it. And now it's a bit of a success, I suppose. Um, but I don't play much of it. And that's basically because I don't really play many real-time strategies. Um, and the reason for that is that they're generally zero-sum games. Um, how do I explain this? In a zero-sum game, there's like typically a finite resource, and you're vying for control over this finite resource, and eventually someone has all of it, and they win, I guess. So let's look at poker. You have like 5 people; they all come in with $100. Um, Now you don't just introduce more money. Each of them came in with $100, and they all bet, their $2 buy-ins or whatever. They bet and 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 they bet, and then eventually one player has no money, and they're like, "Well, I guess I'm out, guys." And what do? I guess they hang around, they have a few drinks or something, and then another one's out. "Oh, I guess I'm out." So now there's $500 divided amongst the 3 people who are still in there. And they keep going, they keep going, they keep going, and eventually, one player has like $400, and one person's sitting on 100, and they're playing and they're playing and they're playing. Yeah, maybe there's a bit of a back and forth, but eventually someone ends up with $500, and the other people end up with nothing. And that's an example of a zero-sum game. There was a finite amount of resources, and it went on. The game Risk, the game Monopoly, these board games. They're zero-sum games. In Monopoly, there's a certain amount of money. I guess all of the bank money is technically that, but there's also a certain amount of property. So it's a little bit obfuscated, and it has a bit of chance and all that. So, whatever. It's a bit of fun with friends. That's the way you should look at it, because, that's a chance-based game. Let's not go into this. But, I guess the problem is that these games take a really long time. A really long time. And you can be the player that goes bankrupt early on. And I think when you're trying to have fun with friends, you don't want a game that like eliminates people. And that's what they do. Real-time strategies, typically speaking, they're these zero-sum games that eliminate players, and you end up with 2 superpowers that are going at it, and then one of them wins. They destroyed all of the other person's structures. They finally found that Terran frickin' command center floating about, or they finally found where that probe is, like, warping in the last pylon. And, like, that's not, in my opinion, super fun. Real-time strategies are these, nice competitive things, I suppose, but you don't even get like a proper score. They have destroyed buildings, destroyed units, built, constructed buildings, units produced, resources gained. You have all these stats, and some of the more complex games show you a graph over time, but unless you have some kind of weird game mode, and maybe this is the future of RTS, is you have a game mode, you have like a timer, and the players try to make the best thing that they can, and they can attack other players, and if you attack other players and succeed, that's the best way of going about it. But if you attack other players and you're sort of warring against each other, well, you got to have other things to build up your economy, your social economy or something. And I think this is possibly something that would turn an RTS from a zero-sum game into something else. A non-zero-sum game, haha, because that's two types of games. I feel like some kind of challenge that two players have to get to. Maybe that periodically, you could maybe have like every 10 minutes there's a wave of something that happens, and the players have to be prepared for it. And you can dick around and try to attack other players, but then you're not prepared for that thing. That'd be neat. But unfortunately, Planetary Annihilation, it's a good game. It's a very well produced game, but it's not the Son of God. Sorry, that's a Judaism reference. It's not. It's the same. It's the same. They have different game modes where you have to kill the commander or something, but in the end, you end up just trying to kill the other guy, and eventually they've got nothing, and then you win. I killed all the other dudes. I win. And it's not fun to be the dude dying, and it's certainly not fun in a multiplayer game, because say you die early on. I've suggested StarCraft to my friends so many times over the years, and we've played it, and it's been shit, because you play for like 5 minutes and one of your friends is dead because one of your other friends knows how to Zerg rush, and the other friend hasn't played in a year, and then that's how it happens. That's just how it goes, and it's not super fun. What else is there to say? I don't think there's anything else to say. I think the future of RTS depends on them getting rid of this zero-sum game idea. It would change. It would change the genre. Hell, I might get started working on it now because I'm intrigued by the idea, and it doesn't look like anyone's done it yet. Except Age of Empires with the Wonder thing, but same crap. It's mostly a military game, and if you build a Wonder, it's because both players have stagnated and they've gone, oh, stuff it. Bah. So, it's a huge investment of resources, and if you're doing that, then you're not building war elephants. Anyway, that's my opinion, man, and, maybe you'll get to thinking. Because if you've played a real-time strategy, then you know that some games can last 5 minutes, some games can last 20 minutes. If you're playing an 8-player game and you happen to not be the first guy that gets killed, sometimes you can hold out for 40 minutes. Some games last for hours. Players basically at a standstill, attacking each other, slapping each other, and eventually, the resources are running dry, and they're just trying to kill them with whatever they have. And that's a game. It's pretty cool. If one player has a marine and the other player has nothing, like just buildings and no defensive buildings, of course, they were all wiped out a long time ago, then the player with the marine is probably going to win just from micromanagement alone. And that's what those slugfests come down to if you have no minerals on the map. Sorry. That's another StarCraft specific reference. Anyway, RTS sucks, kind of, because it takes a long time, and then one person wins.